because obviously the injuries and suspensions at the beginning of the year. But Joe, from what you've seen so far, is Daniel Jones a franchise quarterback?
So far, what we've seen from Daniel Jones is that he has all the characteristics to potentially be a franchise quarterback
3 games
for these New York Giants. He's got a big arm, he's mobile, he's smart, he's willing to humble himself and to get better. He's doing all those things that you want to see in a quarterback, so we think he might be a franchise quarterback. However, the big disease in the NFL is you watch a guy for 1 or 2 games, especially at the quarterback position, and we want to label him right away. Oh, he's the next franchise quarterback, or oh, he's a bust. But it takes 3 years, the old Bill Parcells, 3 years of watching a guy before we really know what he is going to be. And right now we've seen Daniel Jones for just a couple games. So I'm not willing to say he is definitely a franchise quarterback at this point.
Well, you're not willing to say that is because here, I got to look at this long list. 20 starting quarterbacks in your career combined.
Oh, somebody did a little research on my career.
It's not a lot. A combined winning percentage of .273. 48 wins, 128 mollywops. So what I'm saying is you have postpartum for getting your ass kicked as much as you have in your career.
I had a baby?
So you don't understand. Really, you can see a quarterback and see what Daniel Jones does, how he does it, and what he's doing with it. In 5 games, you've had guys that haven't been able to do that in 15 minutes.
So
playing for the Cleveland
Browns. Do you disagree with him?
I disagree. He has postpartum. Here's the thing. I really believe
More
this.
babies.
When we are playing in our NFL careers, we go through certain things that really changes our view and skews our perspective. And you have been skewed by the 20 bums played.
Wow.
Hang on. I'm going to cut you off right now.
Wait, so
Before you continue to disrespect my Johnny Manziel's.
Where's Johnny Manziel? You know what Johnny Manziel is? He's parking cars.
Oh, my goodness.
Here's what you need to understand. I understand, and I love you, and you work hard, but Danny Dimes is this. He's a luxury car. You know what happens when you buy a luxury car? You get to build the stitch in the seats. You don't know anything.
I don't have any nice cars.
Because he's just such a nice guy. He's just such... Danny Dimes is a luxury car that you just get to do everything to.
Wow.
You haven't experienced that in Cleveland, and I understand it. And you know what? I'm sorry, bro.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate it.
Okay.
I'm going to give you an antidote. I'm sorry, Colleen, before you go, I got to get a real quick rebuttal in.
Yes.
Derek Anderson. Willie was on this team.
I love Derek.
2007. We won 10 games.
Yes.
He went to the Pro Bowl. He signed a nice contract with Cleveland. Yep. Everybody thought he was going to be the franchise quarterback of the next 10 to 15 years in Cleveland. Yep. You know what? He lasted a couple more years and finished his career as a backup in Carolina. Now, he had a nice career. He had a nice career as a backup, but he was never that franchise quarterback.
So 19
even though that's what we all thought he was going to be, because he had one good season in Cleveland, and that's what happens.
I got you.
You can have a good season, and you do some good things, but teams are going to get a book on you as a quarterback. They're going to find out what you don't do well.
Correct.
And you know what? They're going to attack that.
Yes.
And you know what? If you can't change it and dial it up a little bit and fix what your weaknesses are, they're going to keep attacking it, and you're never going to be a franchise quarterback.
But a lot of that falls on the coordinators, too, and the people who are calling the plays and putting these players in position. And I was there with Derek, but it wasn't just a good quarterback position. Our team wasn't buying in as a whole. We couldn't get enough players to buy in what was going on. So I think when you look at Daniel Jones, he goes number 6 overall. The expectation is he is going to be a franchise quarterback. Now, as a defensive player studying and playing against multiple Hall of Famers in my career, you look at certain things that these quarterbacks do from the pocket. Do they have the ability to make every single play on the field? Do they have the poise, the leadership? Being in New York, you got to have the demeanor, right? You got to be able to make other players around you better. Does he have all those qualities? Now, I do agree. It's a small sample size. 3 games is not enough to say this guy's going to be the next whoever you may deem it to. But when you look at this kid play, you say if we can build around him, if we put other players around him, can he play at a high level? Has he shown that he can play at a high level?
Yes.
Yes. Now, I'm saying I agree. He needs more time, small sample size, but this kid is talented. He's really, really talented. We've seen guys like Russell Wilson hit the ground running. Deshaun Watson hit the ground running. We can go with a lot of guys. Then there's other guys that's been playing for 6 years or in their 5th year. We're still trying to figure out if they're franchise quarterbacks or not. So I think it's different scenarios for different players. But in this case, this kid, I think, has it.
You guys are talking like we want to take Steve's Hall of Fame jacket off right now and give it right to Daniel Jones on the
there
field
it is.
after 3 games.
There it is.
Go ahead, take it off and give it to him. He can just wear it in the game tonight. How about that?
Well,
you know, let me know.
what's the difference between him and Gardner Minshew? You
love the legend of Gardner
I just like his
You love
mustache
that.
a little bit, all right? Okay, franchise quarterback, it's all about decision making.
Yes,
That's the most
he
important
makes good
thing.
decisions.
That's why Tom Brady is the greatest of all time.
Yes.
His decision making is
Gotcha.
nearly flawless. And decision making is about consistency and doing it over a large number of games and a large number of years. And we just don't know if he's a great decision
Joe,
maker.
you
It's so
also-
true. And you know what? We get to see both of them
He can
tonight out
play.
here on the
He can-
field because
listen,
Daniel
he can
Jones,
play.
Steve, wait a
I'm
minute.
not sure. I think so, but I'm not sure.
You don't know because of what you've been through, and it's okay. It's fine. You're
Postpartum
traumatized.
depression, right?
Postpartum.
You could
It's not-
actually
hey,
argue
it's
that
not
Joe's
your-
seen a
it's
lot
not
of
your
quarterbacks
fault.
in his time.
It's not your fault.
So he's been able to evaluate a lot of
Hey, is
quarterbacks.
one of those coaches coaching today?
Oh, yeah, I got coaches out there.
Yeah,
for sure.
That's
Joe
probably
Kim,
one of the
Brett
problems
Bielema.
right now, too.
Here
Pat
we
Shermer.
go. We're moving on. So obviously Daniel Jones, he has quite the task tonight, trying to do something very few rookie quarterbacks have done before. These are the rookie quarterbacks who have beaten Bill Belichick since he's been with the Patriots. Joe remembers Colt McCoy's crowning achievement, but none of those quarterbacks beat Belichick here in Foxborough. As rookie quarterbacks are 0-11 at Gillette, Daniel Jones will try and become the first to beat them tonight.